Visit our sales gallery just south of PGA Boulevard on US 1.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 88. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Low 75. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, we are in the lab here on AMHQ Weekend looking at that severe weather threat that is still ongoing right now. Dr. Greg Postel keeping an eye on things here in Kansas.
Yeah, right now we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings, but a pretty stout line of thunderstorms moving through Wichita, Emporia, south central Kansas. We've seen reports of winds 30 to 40 miles per hour. Those have been common. But earlier today, just to the west there, over in Great Bend, they had a wind gust of 58 miles per hour. So some storms with a lot of rain and some lightning moving through. Just keep an eye on it, largely south of Kansas City. But as they move on into Missouri later on this morning, I think they're going to weaken. The air is a little bit drier and more stable out that way. But later on today, watch out for more storms across parts of Nebraska and back in central Kansas, again, along a cold front that's moving through. We could have some severe weather with that. Primary hazards would be hail and high winds.
All right, this is going to last throughout the day, too. There'll be a break. Just when it ends this morning doesn't mean it's over.
Right. There'll be more coming back with the cold front that's coming in from the west. All right, so let's go now to the video, because we had some big storms yesterday in West Texas, and some very cool imagery and video has come from that. This is from the National Weather Service office in Lubbock, Texas, West Texas, and they're looking east. About 15 miles initially is where this stuff sort of started flaring up, and the sun is sort of backlighting these things, so you can see a lot of structure here, Chris.
And Dr. Postel, we've seen this a number of times, but there's some things we're noticing now. You see it going up, and you can also see clouds going from right to left across it. Like right here, that's a bird, I think.
Yeah.
But like down below, you had some clouds that are going across. So it shows you there might be some circulation there, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we have a strong wind aloft that's coming from, basically on this, from right to left. So there's a south wind. They are largely at and looking east of the dry line, where we've got some relatively moist air, and the wind is for the most part out of the south. So we're seeing that showing up in some of the clouds, but also there's a pretty good bit of rotation in some of these. There's actually two towers right here, one there and one there. Each of these are supercells that end up producing a little bit of small hail. So really cool imagery there. Let's go and show you how tall those clouds were. At one point at 7:30 last night, about 15 miles east of Lubbock, 43,000 feet.
Which part of that, Dr. Postel, this right here, what the ridges are, that's right here, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is one snapshot.
43,000 feet would be about that overshooting top right there. So the part that went through where the flat part, the upper part of that
An overshooting top is where you have the whole storm rising up. It gets an area of equilibrium, but then you can get it going so fast that it pops up through that.
Yes.
Before then it settles back down.
All thunderstorms will have an overshooting top. The more severe ones will have a bigger one. They just overshoot the area where they're at the same temperature as their surroundings. So let's show you real quick where it formed right in here, just near and to the southwest of Lubbock. That was along a dry line that formed. And there's a little bit of a bulge in the dry line right here where there was just a little bit more convergence that started the storms off here, southwest of Lubbock, that rolled that way. And that's what they saw.
All right, Dr. Postel, thank you. And we're going to take a look at this here in Vermont, something washing on the shore that is pretty cool. We'll show you that video and what's going on right here coming up.
Look, this is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. Our hero is the soba noodle, which we pair with fresh spinach, mushrooms,
yes,
and chicken raised without antibiotics.
Very nice.
Then top with a soy miso broth. That's the ticket. And if you're feeling extra adventurous, try our delicious Thai chicken salad, only at Panera Bread.
And just like that, the snow is gone. And parkas become jackets. And sweaters go down for a long nap. And off you go. And your backyard gets a whole lot bigger. And and you're running and climbing. And your gear gets lighter and trimmer and fitter and smarter. And now every frozen second spent willing this day to come is just a warm, fading memory.
Next.
Expected wait time, 55 minutes. Your call is important to us. Thank you for your patience.
In the nation, we know how it feels when you aren't treated like a priority. We do things differently.
We'll take care of it.
We put members first.
Thank you.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
This kid makes stains like you would not believe. So when we had him, we bought one of those HE washing machines just trying to keep up. But that thing ran forever.
Turns out it wasn't the machine, it was our detergent. So we switched to Tide Turbo Clean, and now we get way cleaner clothes way faster.
Which is so appreciated. Make a mess. Make a mess. Make a mess. Make a big mess.
Tide HE Turbo Clean. 6 times the cleaning power in half the time. That's my Tide. What's yours?
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician-recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? The Weather Channel just gave them their own TV show.
It's gonna be awesome!
Sunday nights.
Come on, wind! I think I just made Mother Nature my
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
This is incredible.
Failure's not an option.
Oh, yeah, it is.
We got a problem, Houston.
Brainstormers, Sunday nights at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back here at AMHQ Weekend. This is a look at Burlington, Vermont. And can you see what's going on in Lake Champlain here? Look at the ripples. You see the water? That's ice. The ice has been breaking up and the wind's causing the ripple and the slush in there. Kate, what do you think of that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? With the winds blowing between 10 and 20 miles an hour.
That's incredible video there.
It's a cool scene, the way the lights kind of, you get the ripples, you get a little bit of shadow behind it. 'Cause it looks like it's early on in the day with the sun rising.
I think we'll get a little extra melting today. Kind of a little bit of a warmer forecast, a little more sunshine on it, but that's incredible, incredible video. Showing you that winter is not that far from our minds. It's only just ending. Okay, let's go ahead and get to something that you are not going to see anywhere else in the world. The DC Cherry Blossom Festival. It is an incredible time of the year. This is a live look at the nation's capital. There along the tidal basin are the cherry blossoms, the Washington Monument there in the background. Already a beautiful city, especially whenever you go and you realize that these cherry blossom trees were a gift from Japan. So really incredible, back in 1912. Today, the last day of the Cherry Blossom Festival. This is what the forecast looks like. It's like the perfect storm. Except there are no storms. Cherry blossoms, they're at their peak bloom, and we've got beautiful weather. Temperatures going to be near 70 degrees for a high today. So a good looking forecast, lots of sun in the forecast as well. I mean, Chris, this is looking spectacular.
You know what else has been looking spectacular, but now there are some changes right here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's looking pretty good right now as the sun's coming up from the Coca-Cola World headquarters. We're looking off to the east. Do have some clouds out there yesterday. Blue skies in Atlanta. Today, though, the last day of this, the 79th annual Dogwood Festival in Atlanta. Hundreds of artists from around the country setting up and featuring their artwork with cloudy skies today, 70s tomorrow. Severe weather threat coming up.
Once we were dreamers, adventurers set out to discover new lands, new people, new ways. Once we were great explorers in search of hidden treasure, secret hideouts, magic lands. The treasure is still here and waiting to inspire a new generation of dreamers. Come uncover the riches and bounty of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
There's a place for vacationers who seek more than just a little time off. The ones who choose to go big or stay home.
Come with me now.
Where every amazing, despicable, Wizarding Adventure reveals moments that are truly epic. This place is made for those who do more than just vacation.
Go with me now.
It's made for those who vacation like they mean it. Universal Orlando Resort.
Let me talk to you about retirement. A 401k is the most sound way to go. Let's talk asset allocation. Sure.
You seem knowledgeable, professional.
Would you trust me as your financial advisor?
I would.
I would indeed. Well, let's be clear here. I'm actually a DJ.
No way.
I have no financial experience at all.
That really is you.
If they're not a CFP pro, you just don't know. Find a certified financial planner professional who's thoroughly vetted at letsmakeaplan.org. CFP. Work with the highest standard. Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 88. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Low 75. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Look at this. This is an amazing video of a supercell thunderstorm as it loomed over West Texas yesterday afternoon. It's a sign of what we could see today in parts of the Central Plains. We'll talk about that coming up.
And more storm clouds and rain soak the south today. And you'll likely need the umbrella for most of the week. And the sunshine, the sunny days may not be around again until next week.
Over the last week, we saw firsthand the destruction that tornadoes cause, but hail is also a big problem during severe weather. This morning, we're introducing you to a man who invented a fast way to protect your vehicle when hail strikes. Morning to you, Minneapolis. You have some thunderstorms potentially in the forecast later on today, but it's a calm morning for you now, and not too bad temperature-wise. We have got the 50s there right now, 52 degrees. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on AMHQ Weekend. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Chris Warren, along with Dr. Greg Postel. A lot going on this morning, so let's get right to the big picture, guys.
Let's do it. We have a chance for severe weather today across parts of the Central Plains, all the way from Kansas and Oklahoma northward into parts of Iowa. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, and then we've also got a soaker in store, because if you're making those plans, starting to plan out your work week or even your Sunday in the South, it could be a soaker, so you may be rained out of a few places.
And you might be waking up this morning in the Northeast going, I hope it lasts, I hope it lasts, I hope it lasts, because it is going to be nice. The yellow, the orange, and the red shows the warm colors. That's right, this is New England, and we have some warm air for you. Had it today, and had it yesterday, we'll have it tomorrow, but it's going to come to an end.
Yeah, we're happy to see that, though. But as you said, all good things must come to an end. Thunderstorms are on tap once again for the Texas Panhandle tonight. Now take a look at these images from Lubbock of storm clouds rolling over the city last night. There were reports of pea to ping pong size hail in the Caprock and south of Lorenzo, just east of the Lubbock area. Hailstones the size, oh, look at these photos, they're incredible. Hailstones the size of tennis balls fell in White Deer, Texas. Look at that view with the sun setting there, Dr. Postel. These are incredible.
Okay. That is some good stuff there, Kate, and we're going to take a look and see where that threat is for more of this action right here that you're looking at. We do have the threat for some more storms today. We're going to look at that threat, and it's going to be, once again, parts of Texas. We're seeing it right now also in Kansas, and it is beautiful to look at here. However, you have to think about what's going on underneath those clouds. Underneath these clouds, you can have some very heavy rain. There's lightning that's associated with what's going on in there oftentimes, and possibly some large hail. So with that, let's take a look right now with storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel. You spend a lot of time in the plains. You're a storm chaser. Let's take a look at what do you think are going to be the most primary candidates for some of the big storms like we saw yesterday in Texas?
I would say south central Kansas and parts of Nebraska. We have a shot at some severe weather today. It does extend farther south than that, but I think the areas most at risk would be out in here because there's going to be a cold front moving into an increasingly unstable air mass this afternoon that will reintroduce thunderstorms to places that are getting them right now, Chris. You can see that we've got some big storms that have moved through Wichita and Emporia, Kansas, largely south of Kansas City. None of these are severe. They've produced a lot of lightning, of course, heavy rain, and basically some gusty winds that have moved through the Wichita area. And I can even move this forward over to the east, and I can show you exactly where these storms are about ready to move into Burlington, Eureka, Webster. This is in east central Kansas, guys. So these have weakened in the last, I would say, hour or so. And I think they're going to continue to weaken as they move eastward into Missouri, because if you look at the dew points in Missouri, they're not nearly as high as they are out here in parts of central and western Kansas. They're not real high out there either, but the storms are going to be moving in this morning into a more stable air mass, and we will see them weaken. And then they will move fairly quickly because we've got some fast winds aloft, Chris. There's a little perturbation in the jet stream there that is helping trigger these thunderstorms, and that's going to be zipping them off in that way. And as they go that way, I think they're going to be weakened and turning into largely rain producers.
So let's time it out right now. The time in the top right hand of your screen, and then we're going to see these storms now moving into the Midwest, in Chicago even. Yeah, they'll probably get some rain later on this afternoon and evening, as will other parts of central Illinois. But we have to then turn our attention, because you mentioned this earlier, Chris, good point, that places that have the thunderstorms now, that's probably not the end of your day, because in terms of weather, because we've got essentially a cold front moving through that will reinitiate thunderstorms here in Nebraska and parts of Kansas. And I think the primary modes here would be hail and high winds. We're not going to discount the possibility of a tornado, but I think that's less likely than the other two hazards. The main hazards, of course, with lightning and heavy rain. Right, but don't be shocked if there is a tornado warning, and of course heed that warning as you would. Okay, thank you, Dr. Postel. Let's go to Kate.
Okay, so it's not any severe weather in Galveston, Texas this morning, but it doesn't look all that pleasant with the cruise ship there, 71 degrees. I don't know that I'd want to be in Galveston this week, because you could see 3 to 4 inches of rain by Friday. So if you're looking to take a little spring break there along the coast of Texas, get ready for a wet one. Even a small risk of flash flooding going to be a possibility in the coming days across much of the south. And it's because of this soaker of a system that we have set up. This is what we're talking about. These kind of slow and steady showers, and at times a few thunderstorms with very heavy downpours, but they're soaking the ground, so the soil can't absorb anymore. Here in southeast Louisiana, New Orleans there, you've got that consistent light rainfall. A little farther to the north, Baton Rouge, you did have a little bit of some heavier downpours, and you may see that along I-10 and I-20 today. This is why we've got this stalled out front taking all this moisture. It's surging north, and it's really not going anywhere. It's not until we get into this latter part of the week that we see a little bit of change happen. But this front, it just doesn't really sweep clean the south, which means that you're going to stay in this moist air mass. You're going to keep with these scattered thunderstorms. Today into tomorrow across Texas Hill Country and up into north central Texas, you could see some strong, even severe thunderstorms up along the Red River. Let's talk about Tuesday, because you've got some thunderstorms in the forecast. East Texas stretching all the way into the Carolinas, even Virginia. You have some rain in the forecast. This extends all the way down into Daytona Beach, Florida. So we've got a wide swath here that we're looking at some of these heavier rainfall totals. Some spots across Oklahoma could see 3 to 5 inches. But some spots across South Texas and Louisiana, not to mention even Alabama, computer models putting in 5 to 8 inches. Again, this is a computer model forecast through Friday. So a lot of wiggle room on where exactly we may see the majority of that rainfall. But regardless, you need to plan for several wet days, especially New Orleans. You've got the French Quarter Fest going on there right now, and you could see some delays like you did yesterday. The temperatures, Chris, they're cooperating. Yes. The moisture in the atmosphere is not.
Not so much. But again, you will have time to get from each establishment to the other if you just wait out the storm, right? It's not going to be all day.
A couple libations in between.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, Kate. Now, you may be celebrating the sunshine in the Northeast. Celebrate it again today, because it's going to be going away. Look for more scenes like this. Rain returns. We'll let you know when it does. We'll also talk about the mud season returning to northern New England, and some driving tips for you as well.
Advanced Design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto, with the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar. Against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
Oh, man. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You gotta do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim. State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle-Gro Liquid Feed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
What's he doing? You think I have time to run into?
Golfsmith. Anything for golf.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get special financing for 12 months on purchases of $4.99 or more on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Thanks for this Oreo caramel shake, Kara.
Can't believe you ordered all these shakes.
Yeah.
And how do you know her name?
Oh, I kind of have nicknames for everybody based upon my order.
Caramel, Kara. Yeah.
Holly for jalapeno chocolate.
That's
and
great.
Janine for peanut butter.
Why Janine for peanut butter?
Because she reminds me of my ex-girlfriend Janine, who was nuts.
She was crazy.
25 hand-mixed real ice cream shakes, all half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
When you go out there, it's dangerous.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, morning thunderstorms. High 88. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Still in the eye, and we're still trying to get her in a safe place.
She's in labor right now.
We know more about this system hour by hour.
This is our Pineapple Express pumping in that rainfall.
We are talking about a doozy of a storm.
AMHQ Weekend looking live right now at Boston. Good looking scene right here. And we are going to see this change. They're going to have some rain eventually return and cooler temperatures. Hopefully you enjoy temperatures that are going to be into the 60s today because you're going to be back down into the 50s for daytime highs pretty soon. Let's talk about that right now. It's going to go from warm and then wet. That's what we're expecting here in the Northeast, and then eventually going to cool down. This is what's happening. This is how it's going to play out. High pressure in place. So you have this mild air coming up from the south, and temperatures are going to be on the warm side here. You see where that red was? That's where things are going to be warm. And then out ahead of this, you're looking at Monday night into Tuesday. That's when the clouds and the rain will be back. And then you see this cold front right here. That means colder air moves in. So the cold air replacing what has been relatively warm air throughout much of the Northeast, especially when you compare it to the winter you've had here. So here's a look at some of the daytime highs expected for today. 65 in Boston, 70 in Washington, D.C. And remember, the red means warm. Getting up closer, look at all the red. See the red building in here? Getting up closer to 80 degrees in Pittsburgh. 77 in D.C. This is tomorrow. However, you're going to be seeing some of the clouds starting to build in from the west to the east during the course of the day tomorrow in the Northeast. And then, as we look at it, dry though for most of the day. This is even going into the evening hours, so it's not going to be till late. You see the high clouds come in. You might notice it at sunset, some of those clouds starting to move in. And then by Tuesday morning, here comes that rain. And throughout the day, chance for some rain. Eventually, it'll turn over to those hit and miss showers. But Tuesday looks like the wet day. of the week. And then here comes after that cold air I was talking about. That's going to come in right after that line of storms or heavy rain will roll through. This is the forecast now for Boston, with your temperatures staying in the lower 60s, but could be down into the 40s and the 50s by the middle part of the week. So with that rain, after getting a little bit of a break from the rain, there will be some wet roads you'll have to deal with. And so keep in mind, your average braking distance, if you're driving 70 miles an hour, when it's dry, is about a football field. Okay, so that's something you have to think about, because a lot of us don't leave enough room on a day-to-day basis. A lot of times cars will sneak in front of you, so people tend to drive a little bit closer. But when it's wet, that is extended by more than 200 feet when you have the wet weather and braking when you're going 70 miles an hour. You only have to be going about 35 miles an hour, and you can hydroplane with that ponded water where you lose traction, your wheels kind of come off of the surface, off of the pavement or the concrete. So that's something you have to think about too. And then you have that very heavy rain, visibilities go way down, and you might not even be able to see if there's something on the road also. So you have less time to react and more distance you need to stop. So be careful driving in the rain. Kate?
Speaking of rain, you mix the warm weather, the thawing ground, you mix a little of that rain, and you've got the recipe for mud season in northern New England. That's when the unpaved rural roads become just trenches of muck. Vermont State Trooper John Prack joins us now on Skype. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Oh, we just saw a car looks like go behind you there. Now, it looks like you are standing in a field of mud. Can you explain what exactly is mud season for those that don't live in the area?
Sure. Mud season is Vermont's 5th season, we like to say here in northern New England. It's a season between winter and spring where the roads are still frozen, the frost level is still low, and the water collects on top of the back dirt roads, which causes the roadway to become very muddy and very rutty.
Now, the locals deal with this every spring, but what about tourists? What about people that aren't accustomed to this? How are you supposed to drive on those roads?
Well, I would, for people coming from out of town, I would advise that they, try to seek alternate routes if they can. And if not, just drive safe and try to stay out of the ruts as much as possible, and try not to get stuck.
How often do you have to go out there and rescue people that are stuck in the mud?
It's actually quite a frequent occurrence. Normally people don't know about the Vermont mud season, and they will get stuck on the roadway. And normally we'll come out and try to get to those people and send a tow truck.
At what point in the year do you guys finally exit this 5th season and see some improvement? Do those roads finally become solid again?
Yeah, it depends on the season. I think this year it's going to be a longer season, and it might hold on over till May due to the fact that it's been so cold. It all depends on the weather. Normally it's April, and it could push into May.
Well, the good news is, John, I've got a good forecast for you today, so enjoy it. Let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast. Thank you so much for being with us this morning and explaining what mud season is. How does 67 degrees sound today? Tomorrow, 71 and sunny, but rain returning to the forecast on Tuesday, so we are going to see more of that muck.
Absolutely gorgeous in Vermont, too.
Okay, coming up on AMHQ Weekend, we're tracking another threat of severe weather today from Texas to Iowa. Dr. Greg Postel showing us what you can expect.
Don't want to hear the sound of that, but he'll be back on AMHQ Weekend.
Oh no. Can you fix it, Dad?
Yeah, I can fix that.
I wanted a car that could handle anything.
I fixed it!
That's why I got a Subaru Legacy.
Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 36 mpg.
I gotta break more toys.
The 2015 Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
You said men are superior drivers.
Yeah.
Then how'd I get this
Allstate Safe Driving bonus check?
Who's that?
So weird, right? My agent Tom said
Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free.
But I'm a woman. Maybe it's a misprint. Does it look like a misprint?
Okay, let's try. Silence. Ask an Allstate agent about the safe driving bonus check. Are you in good hands?
We are still in the eye, and we're still trying to get in a safe place.
She's in labor right now.
We know more about this system hour by hour.
This is our Pineapple Express pumping in that rainfall.
We are talking about a doozy of a storm.
We all want that little black dress moment, that look good, feel good moment. But when you're overweight, it's more like little black dress. I don't even want to get dressed. I'm tired, my knees hurt. I'm not going up those stairs again moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Now you can lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist, or your money back guaranteed.
You'll get perfectly portioned meals that are ready in minutes. So there's no counting, no measuring, no guesswork. Simple.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of specially selected meals. Plus, you'll get 1 week of energizing shakes free and 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes free.
This is your moment. Don't wait. Start looking and feeling great today.
Call now, 855-807-THIN, and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
So let's go!
When you go out there, it's dangerous.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, morning thunderstorms, high 88. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Tonight, mainly cloudy, low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy, high 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, welcome back to the lab. We have some thunderstorms out there that may have woken you up this morning. If it wasn't the pets or the kids hopping in bed with you, if you're in Emporia, Kansas, I think you heard this one.
Yeah, Emporia, Wichita, they are not severe, and it looks like they're weakening a little bit to me as they move into eastern Kansas. Earlier today, they had winds nearly 60 miles per hour in Great Bend, but they have fortunately weakened. Heavy rain and lightning right now, the biggest concerns. Let's time out now later on this afternoon for who's going to get the thunderstorms. This by 9:30 a.m. This is that cluster of storms moving through Missouri. It should weaken. I don't expect severe weather with it, but later on today, I do across parts of Nebraska and Kansas. More storms will be developing along a cold front that's moving through. The primary hazards there, Kate, will be high winds and hail, although you really can't rule out the possibility of a tornado, so stay tuned for all that.
And it's important to note the timing there. It's, after sunset, and you may think, hey, he said there were going to be more storms today. They haven't happened yet. You have to remain on alert because this is another kind
round coming much later on today, and then tomorrow perhaps some more rounds coming of severe weather.
Yeah.
We have parts of Texas here under an area that we think could experience severe weather all the way from Dallas on down through Brownsville and out to the west toward Abilene.
I see Tarrant County in there, and Tarrant County apparently the hail capital of Texas.
Speaking of hail in Texas, yesterday near Lubbock, right?
Yeah.
What do we got? We got some video from a supercell thunderstorm, or multiple supercell thunderstorms, just to the east of Lubbock. This is a tower cam from the National Weather Service in Lubbock looking toward the east late yesterday afternoon.
This is clearly time lapse. This isn't happening in real time. Right. But you can just see the explosive upward motion of each of those parcels of air. I mean, look at that. If you see these develop, and a lot of people see, hey, it was a clear blue sky, and then all of a sudden, these baby cumulus clouds started, and they grew into this monster, and this is the process of that happening.
Yeah, very strong updrafts in that particular group of thunderstorms. And let's have a look at them on the satellite pictures yesterday afternoon. So here we are in West Texas. Here's Interstate 27. And the cluster of storms that ultimately became the ones we just saw formed late in the afternoon right in this zone and then moved sort of east-northeastward across that region. That's them.
Yeah, you can see the shadows here of some of those supercells. I always love that. Oh, look at me pointing the arrow again. Okay, so here, right there, you see those shadows? That's pretty cool. Right there at the end, some of those higher cloud tops.
That's actually, Kate, you're pointing to the overshooting top right there.
There it is.
That little thing right there is a little part of that thunderstorm updraft turret right there.
This is what we want to show you on the video there. Right there where I was just pointing, where I keep drawing on the screen and irritating Greg.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's good. Keep going, Kate. Keep drawing.
So this is the upward motion, right? So what is going on with this air? Going straight up, and then you'll notice how it flattens out. And you see these thunderstorms a lot. You see them pretty often, and they look flat on the top of them. And that's because you're hitting that air that is the same temperature as the rising parcel. And so it just says, nope. And it kind of, we call it the tropopause usually. That's about where it happens.
Yeah, that's right. And then there's always a little bit that goes through that right there because it's got some non-zero inertia. The updraft keeps going a little bit, encountering colder air than the surroundings. And then so it sinks back down, and then that's where you get that spreading out of the anvil. That's exactly right. But there's that cluster of storms. And we talked to a fellow from the National Weather Service earlier, and he was talking about the dry line being a prominent feature yesterday afternoon in Texas, helping to initiate this round of convection. And let's look at yesterday afternoon at what the dry line, where it was. Let's talk a little bit about, Kate, what the dry line is.
So the dry line obviously dividing where we have that a lot of moisture, a lot of dry air, but this one looks a little bit on the curvy side. You always see that.
Yeah, that's right. And when they get not so curvy, sometimes you get the initiation or the trigger for thunderstorms because there's some interesting little motions happening near the ground that helps to start the thunderstorm activity. But Kate,
what's this?
Your point, right? That is a bulge in the dry line, Kate, right in there. And there's another one actually up here too. And so what we're seeing there is overall we have a south wind largely in the Lubbock area at this time yesterday afternoon, kind of going like that. And in fact, if you were to look at some of the video, you could see some of the clouds streaming by like that at low level. So just to the east of Lubbock, the wind was out of the south like that. But to the west, behind this camera, there's a little bulge in the dry line. There's a little bit of a westerly wind surge right here and right there. And when that happens, when you got winds going out at different directions like that, they converge right there. And that's when we saw this, cumulus cloud development right in that region. And that stuff eventually that's where the storm came out of. It went like that. It moved northeastward like that, and then eventually produced some pea-sized hail and even some ping pong ball-sized hail just to the east, 15 miles east of Lubbock.
So when you see these thunderstorms today in the big Texas sky, you will know exactly what you're talking about there, because they're definitely not rare in that part of the country, but it's rare that we get such a cool view of them.
Yes, they're lucky. Without topography and without trees in the way, they can see forever.
Well, rain and gusty winds whip the northwest as well. We're checking in on the west coast, and we're going to show you who will get rain and who's getting snow. Plus storm clouds in the forecast for Augusta. Will they hold off and wait for the Masters to finish or rain out the tournament? That forecast coming up next.
Turn the land you own into the land you love with a Mahindra tractor. Proudly assembled right here in America. The people who stand behind your Mahindra are your friends and neighbors and a part of your community. So you can thank Dexter, Reuben, and Myra for the homegrown quality of your Mahindra.
The world's #1 selling tractor. Visit MahindraUSA.com.
Advanced design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
Ted's morning was not going well, and when his battery light lit up, it went from bad to worse. But a quick pit stop to AutoZone, where they checked that for free, and Ted and his car were back to peak performance. It's called The Zone, and we'll help get you there. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
There's nothing more romantic than a spontaneous moment, so why pause to take a pill? And why stop what you're doing to find a bathroom? With Cialis for daily use, you don't have to plan around either. It's the only daily tablet approved to treat erectile dysfunction, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. Plus, Cialis treats the frustrating urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Why pause the moment? Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use. For a free 30-tablet trial, go to Cialis.com.
We are still in the eye, and we're still trying to get in a safe place.
She is in labor right now.
We know more about this system hour by hour.
This is our Pineapple Express pumping in that rainfall.
We are talking about a doozy of a storm.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, morning thunderstorms, high 88. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Tonight, mainly cloudy, low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy, high 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And then it hit. And you took it to the edge. Didn't give up.
Welcome back to AMHQ Weekend. Okay, it's a Sunday morning. We know that you're waking up with us, whether it's because of thunderstorms, right, or maybe it's the cat jumping on your face. That tends to be how I wake up in the morning.
Or it's that sun coming through the window that you haven't seen in a long time.
What is that, right?
Yeah, I know. Some places haven't seen the sun in a while. Good for them if you are. Enjoy the day. But you know what? Yesterday, there were some big thunderstorms in the panhandle of Texas, not far away from Lubbock. We have some great video to show you of that. And we're going to dissect this video because there's some very cool aspects to this supercell thunderstorm 15 miles east of Lubbock that you can see on the satellite pictures, guys. You can almost see how these thunderstorms formed and why they did what they did. We will talk much more about that coming up at 50 past the hour. Stay tuned.
All right. Thank you so much, Greg.
And right now on AMHQ Weekend, it's time for America's Top 3. And the first one we're looking at, Kate, as Dr. Postel was talking about, the severe threat in the plains.
Yeah, it's another day of it. It goes from the Texas Panhandle all the way up to Des Moines, Iowa. And it's really going to be hail and damaging winds here. But then we've got other days of it. Right? We've got another day tomorrow that we're watching.
And do you know what we also have days of? Green on the map.
Yeah, green, whenever you have it on your lawn is a good thing, but on our maps, it's not a good thing. Even worse is whenever we get these yellows and these reds with regard to rainfall, because it means you're going to see a soaker, and flooding could be a little bit of an issue. Your soil will become saturated.
So with the severe threat, you have the soaking southern rain, and then the northeast. A lot of people trying to figure out whether or not the sun and the warm weather that you have right now will be hanging around, and the answer is?
Go outside today, because we can't promise a good forecast the rest of the week, but we're going to go ahead and say that right now is a really good time to go outside and see that.
So we've got that going for us.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Meanwhile,
let's go ahead and say good morning to Wichita, Kansas. Expect showers and thunderstorms today. 1/2 inch of rain in the forecast. So we're going to go ahead and continue to watch for the risk of severe weather. You can take a look here on taking a look. You can see the little bit of wetness on the sidewalk, and obviously the greenery liking that rainfall. But man, that lightning and that thunder may have woken you up early this morning. Now, you do have the risk of severe weather later today. What's going to happen is this cold front is going to roll on through. So this is kind of the first round. This isn't even the cold front just yet that's causing the shower and thunderstorm activity this morning. Emporia, Kansas, I bet you can hear this. that's for sure. On down south to Wichita, you definitely have some rain in the forecast, but it's really pattered out here. We had some of those heavier downpours all the way moved to the south. Moving into Independence, Kansas, coming up next. Now, talking about KC, Kansas City, Missouri side, you've got light rain. The Kansas side, though, Lawrence, Kansas, where KU, the home of the Jayhawks. You know, as a Missouri Tiger fan, oh, come on, Chicken Hawk. Oh, come on, M-I-Z. I'm sorry. M-I-Z. We're all Mizzou here, Greg. Hey, who has the clicker? I have the clicker right now. It's Mizzou. Okay, let's talk about this rain because through Topeka into Lawrence, you do have some of those heavier downpours. The Midwest is a spot that we're really watching today. Moisture surging out of the south, right along the Gulf of Mexico. This is where those warm, moist parcels of air are going, riding up along the jet stream. But when the cold front collides with that, we see the other dynamics come into place. We do have the risk of seeing some stronger storms later on this evening across Kansas. Places like Wichita, which you're kind of getting that first round of thunderstorms this morning, and then your risk of more thunder returns later on this evening when you're ready for dinner. Then come tomorrow around the Great Lakes, you have some more rain in the forecast. By Tuesday, you have showers up and down the East Coast. So we were telling you, East Coast, we're telling you in the Northeast to soak up that sunshine while you can because rain is returning to the forecast, but at least it's not snow, right? That's the positive news. There's the risk of severe weather today. It does extend from Iowa on down south into San Angelo. This is what we mean business about, people, because these thunderstorms are going to pack a punch with winds. We could see some damage from those. Hail going to be something that you need to prepare for now. If you need to get your car someplace where you can keep it under cover, and you need to be paying attention to the weather all afternoon, especially in places like Wichita, where you do have the risk of seeing some of those stronger storms through the overnight as well, which means that you need to have something that will wake you up as you go to bed tonight. In case we do have one of these severe thunderstorms, there is a chance that we could see an isolated tornado as well. Not out of the question, Chris.
All right, Kate, thank you very much. We want to say good morning to the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. That's the Space Needle on the right, and it is still dark. It is 5:30 in the morning right now in Seattle, and we do have a little bit of rain around parts of western Washington. Temperatures will be into the 50s, and we're going to see that chance for some rain hang around for at least a couple of days here. So let's talk about that stormy at times, a wet northwest weather that's going to last early into the week. Starting off right now with a look at where the rain is coming down. And this is a pretty typical pattern after a front comes through. What you'll notice here, you see, okay, we have some green and blue on the map. What's the deal with that? And if you're not familiar with this area, the blue, that's snow, but that's falling in the mountains. So elevation plays a huge role here. And these are the Cascade Mountains, and that's where you have a lot of blue, which is a lot of snow. So the jet streams to the north, you're going to get a break in the action. We talk about a break in the action. It's just going to be those showers. It's not that big of a deal when we see a few showers on the map. Early next week, though, here comes another storm, and that will bring some more rain as well. Front's going to move through. Snow levels have been low, below some of the major mountain passes throughout parts of the Pacific Northwest, including Interstate 90, which is Snoqualmie Pass, and snow showers lingering around, hit and miss stuff, rain on the Olympic Peninsula, and then Oregon, Idaho, sunny. It's looking pretty good for you. Tomorrow, that chance for rain returns to the Willamette Valley on up into the Puget Sound area. And initially, you have these snow levels pretty high, and then once that front gets through, the snow levels crash, and you're down into the snowy situation here on the west slopes of the Cascades. Might have a little bit of a mix as you're driving up and over the hill here. Purple showing some of the heavier snow expected, or what we've seen rather, since Friday. And look at this little spot right here in the Olympic Mountains. 1.5 to 2 feet of snow, and then we're still looking at additional snow in Stevens Pass, possibly even Snoqualmie Pass. And then you look over here, the west central mountains of Idaho going to get a fair amount of snow, and just kind of a dusting here in eastern Oregon when it comes to the snow. As far as Seattle goes, you're looking at some afternoon light rain. It's really not going to be that bad. You don't need a rain jacket really to deal with this kind of rain, or an umbrella for that matter. Staying mild and looking pretty good by Wednesday, Kate.
Okay, how about some swamping rains? That's where you're kicking off your work week with, especially in the south. You're expecting to see rain every day this week in some spots. For example, Daytona Beach, Florida could see as much as 8 inches of rain before the week is done. And today marks the final day of the Masters, but will the fairways be rain-free? That forecast coming up.
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful unfolding.
You're only young once, unless you have a Subaru.
The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
How do I get hotel deals nobody else gets?
Trust me, I'm a great negotiator.
Priceline Negotiator.
60% off.
40.
60.
40.
60.
40.
40.
60.
Trust me, they can't say no to me. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Can I get an upgrade?
Trust me, and you'll never overpay again. Seriously?
I'm trusting you.
Exclusive hotel deals up to 60% off. Priceline.com.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle-Gro Liquifeed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
Advanced Design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
People that would do anything for golf deserve a store that would do anything for golfers. Visit Golfsmith for the largest selection and guaranteed lowest prices. Golfsmith, anything for golf.
I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
From the very start, I wanted FitCore to be different. If you come to me, it's because you want to do what I do, because I don't do what other people do. It's kind of like creating a brand for myself.
Your business is unique. Your marketing should be too. With Vistaprint, it will be. Put your personal touch on 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Just enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
Stay true to yourself. You can do this how you want to do it, and somebody else is going to think that's awesome and want to do it that way too.
Vistaprint.com.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, morning thunderstorms. High 88. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, AMHQ Weekend right now. In less than 90 minutes, the final round of the Masters gets underway. And if yesterday was any indication, we're in for a real treat today. The current leader, 21-year-old Jordan Spieth, 16 under par, tees off at 2:50 Eastern time this afternoon. So far, he has led all 3 rounds. The Golf Channel's Mark Rolfing is live from the Wallace House at Augusta Country Club nearby. And will you talk about the significance of this and the weather, how that might play into things today?
Well, the weather looks like it's going to be pretty good today right now, so I don't think it's going to have a significant impact on the results of this tournament unless the tournament committee over at Augusta National Golf Club decides they have something up their sleeve and they want to tighten the screws a little bit on the players. I talked yesterday about the sub-air system they have that can actually dry the golf course out even more than it is right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see them do a few things like that today, maybe make the whole locations a little more difficult, because the last thing they want is a runaway today.
So they can actually manipulate the conditions of the playing field, of the golf course. That's right?
They really can. The nature of Augusta National is it's all about angles because there are so many elevation changes. And the slopes on the golf course right now are actually pretty soft. And when they're soft, the golf balls don't ricochet off those slopes as much as possible. Jordan Spieth hit a second shot yesterday at number 9 that was left of the green. In years past, it would have ricocheted off that hill, gone all the way off the green in the front and down into the fairway. Yesterday, it stopped about 6 feet from the hole, and he ended up making the putt for a birdie. So that was a 2-shot swing to his benefit. I think you may see firm conditions in those areas a little more today.
All right, so I know a lot of people, including my dad, are going to be on their couches or in their chairs watching the Masters today. And there's been a lot of drama at the end of the day. Any prediction, any thoughts maybe of you might think how this play out? You think history could be made today with Spieth?
I think history will be made today with Spieth. Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are too far behind. They're going to have a little match with each other in their own little twosome. You've got Rose, Mickelson, and Hoffman chasing Spieth. But I firmly believe today you are going to see the coronation of the next superstar in the game of golf at the age of 21.
And he is 21 years old. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate your reporting for us, Mark Rolfing with the Golf Channel. And have a good day today.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Let's go ahead right now and head on over to Kate.
Yeah, Chris, Florida, very popular place for golfing here along the coast, popular place for beaching, but not yesterday in Daytona Beach. Look at these amazing clouds. This was sent to us by Luis. Thank you so much for sending in these pictures. Obviously, we had some thunderstorms sitting just off the coast yesterday. Some of those moved on shore. Now, 8 p.m. last night, showers and thunderstorms likely. That's when that was taken. The next 3 days. 3 days. You could see 2 inches of rain in a few spots easily by the time we get to Friday. Let's talk about your 7-day forecast. Starting first today with the risk of severe weather that's right across the Midwest and stretching down into the southern plains. You've got rain in the south. It is keeping on. And that's rain in the Pacific Northwest coming to an end. Gorgeous, perfect day in New England. Let's take a look at tomorrow, though, because that rain starts to stretch a little farther to the east. So places like Chicago, down into the Ohio River Valley, that's where you're going to see a little bit more of that rain in the forecast by Tuesday. It's up and down the East Coast, and our next system has moved in the West Coast, meaning more snow for some of the higher elevations. It stays all rain out to the east, though, with temperatures much more mild than they have been as of late. By Wednesday, though, it's a little bit cooler. Places like Atlanta, only 67 degrees for a high because you're staying in this wet pattern. You do have some more snow that'll spread into Utah, Colorado. You've got that in the forecast as well. Take a look at Thursday, though. We start to see some of that rain spread once again into places like Kansas and Oklahoma. It's this never-ending story of this very wet forecast across the southern states, the southeast, and then into New England. Even by next Saturday, still looks a little hairy, Chris.
All right, thanks, Kate. As Kate was just talking about, there is that threat for some severe weather, and she was showing us that in the plains today. Large hail, damaging winds, even a tornado. We're going to break it down.
Before Chris Hadfield, before Sally Ride, we turned ordinary people into heroes. Shake hands with a hero at Astronaut Encounter, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Wherever you walk, just remember this. Whatever you step on goes on your shoes and ends up on your car's floor. So to perfectly protect your vehicle, you need WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to custom fit and perfectly protect your specific make and model. Order yours at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech floor liners, proudly made in America.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician-recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
Water. We take our showers with it. We make our coffee with it. But we rarely tap its true potential and just let it be itself. Flowing freely into clean lakes, clear streams, and along more freshwater coastline than any other state in the country. Come realize water's true potential. Dive in to the waters of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Before space stations, before moonwalks, we lit that candle and shot to the stars. Walk among our most powerful creations at the Rocket Garden, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
So let's go! When you go out there, it's dangerous.
Habitat for Humanity of Palm Beach County is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing people together to build safe, decent, affordable housing to serve low-income and hardworking families in our community. You can help Habitat's mission through home sponsorship, monetary donations, volunteering, or by donating sellable household items and building supplies to our restores. You can learn more at habitatpbc.org.
It's time to elevate your expectations of what luxury waterfront living can be. Water Club North Palm Beach. In the heart of everything you love about the Palm Beaches. Unmatched views in every direction. Unrivaled amenities. Private club living on the water's edge. Water Club North Palm Beach. Presented by Coulter. Visit our sales gallery just south of PGA Boulevard on US 1.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, morning thunderstorms. High 88. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here on AMHQ Weekend, in the lab now with Storm Specialist Dr. Greg Postel. You're going to analyze some impressive video from yesterday, but there is some storm activity right now happening in the plains that you're going to update us on.
Yeah, eastern Kansas, we have some storms moving through. These are not severe, but producing a lot of lightning, obviously, and some heavy rain getting into Chanute, Independence, a little south of the KC Metro, but if you go up there, we see mostly a moderate band of rain moving through, and then things will clear out later on this afternoon, and I think we got a shot at some more storms in the heartland of America later on today. Here's by 10 o'clock where the cluster of storms over eastern Kansas we think will be right about there. And then watch out for new initiation of thunderstorm activity right out there. Cold front's coming in, Chris.
And here it comes. So that's look at this morning and then now into the afternoon at 5:30.
Right about there.
Boom. And here, Wichita once again, there.
Right. Same areas that have storms now. Don't think because those have gone, that's it for you for the day, because probably more is coming. Primary hazards today in terms of severe weather would be hail and high winds. Can't rule out the possibility of a tornado, though I don't think that's really as high as some of the other risks involved.
All right, so going back to yesterday, if you're just joining us right now on the Weather Channel for the first time this morning, this is some new video that we have for you this morning to look at a storm that developed, and this is that video right now. That was the satellite from yesterday.
And we'll go back to that.
This is the video, and we're going to compare the two. And when you first saw this, what went through your mind, Dr. Postel? What did you first notice?
Very strong updrafts in here. You can see the air going up very quickly in that, and what we have showing you is really, really, really strong vertical motion inside of there, and that is obviously convection, and we've got thunderstorms 15 miles to the east of Lubbock, Texas, exploding on the Caprock out there, so the visibility is fantastic, as it always is out there in the high plains. And if you want to compare that video of thunderstorm activity to what it looked like on the satellite picture at the same time, boom, there it goes, just east of Lubbock. The cap broke late in the afternoon. About 8 o'clock in the evening, a pretty nasty cluster of thunderstorms. It's actually two of them really that kind of merged together. But Chris, you and I were looking at that little white feature right there.
So let's try to marry these two together. So you have the light here in the west with the setting sun, and that's what's illuminating right here.
Right.
And then you see that dark spot right there. That is the shadow being cast on the other side of the storm, and that's right there. Ooh,
Can you pause that video?
There. I think we just
See that?
missed it.
Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. That is what's called an overshooting top.
Right here.
Right there. What's happening is that the updraft is very strong, and it's going through the area where it is actually colder than its surroundings. The air parcels are going up so fast, they don't have time to sink back, so they just go up. They continue going up, and you're seeing the shadow of that overshooting top right there, about 15 to 20 miles east of Lubbock.
So right there and right there. Good stuff. Thanks, Dr. Postel. We'll be right back to find out what else is coming up in the next.
Our eyes, they have a 200-degree range of sight, which is good for me. Hey! And bad for the Barclay twins.
Take care of your eyes with Centrum Silver Women. Multivitamins with 60% more vitamin D.
Our brains can control over 600 muscles at the same time. Here's what 90 of them can do.
Take care of your brain with Centrum Silver Women. Multivitamins for the most important parts of you.
Introducing new Country Time Lemonade Starter with real lemon juice. A fresh new way to make country time.
Cut! We all want a living room straight out of a movie set, but what if you don't have movie star money? Or a personal stylist? Or $1 million view? Well, you can still have all the style and comfort you want with the surprisingly affordable Urban Attitudes collection from Lazy Boy. You know, I do kind of miss that view. No, I mean that one.
The bonus coupon sale. You won't believe what you'll find.
Urban Attitudes from Lazy Boy. Live life comfortably.
This is good, Mom.
Good? It's delicious. And this new kibble blend is so healthy.
Thank you.
No, Nancy. Thank you. Kibbles and bits, because every bit matters.
These spicy super crunch chicken strips are not your mom's chicken strips.
No, they're my chicken strips.
It's an expression. It means they're not, plain old chicken strips.
Are you calling my mom plain and old?
No, I like these chicken
like?
strips.
Okay. Well, we'll see how this goes.
Oh my gosh.
Mom, you have an admirer. She is interested?
Chicken strips with a kick worth calling home about. Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips. Add some spark to your morning with new Sonic Spark energy drinks. This is how you Sonic.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? The Weather Channel just gave them their own TV show.
Gonna be awesome!
Sunday nights.
Come on, wind. I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
This is incredible.
Failure's not an option. Oh, yeah, it is.
We got a problem, Houston.
Brainstormers, Sunday nights at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Guys, coming up at noon, it's a Weather Geeks tribute to one of the best minds in severe weather.
Dr. Forbes is such a brilliant mind, and he can analyze severe weather and talk about it like no one I've ever met in my life. But I think what makes him so special is his compassion. Like how much he truly cares about the people that are affected by severe weather. I mean, it affects him, I feel like sometimes just as much as the people that are victims themselves. And that's what makes him really special in my mind.
And that's a special edition of Weather Geeks that's coming up at noon Eastern right here on the Weather Channel.
So excited to see that special. The Storm Master G. We got to hear his pick his brain.
He's the best.
We're picking Kelly and Paul's brain because you guys are coming up next. I know, it's painful. For Weekend Recharge. Are you going to get us going for the work week?
Oh, we definitely are. In fact, we got the forecast, also tracking some severe weather as well coming up right after this show.
Yeah, it's going to be a soaker for so many people. We're going to prepare you and your family for the week ahead in our 7-day stretch.
Oh, yeah. And also, hey, the Masters going on. The last round is today. Professional golfer Stuart Sink is going to stop by with us. In fact, he talked earlier with us about the weather and how the wind could impact Amen Corner of the back nine of Masters. That's won or lost today. We'll have a talk to him coming up on Weekend Recharge.
Who gets that Kelly green jacket?
Yes. What do you think? What do you think of the new guy? 21-year-old Spieth. Yeah.
He's a Longhorn. He's going to win it.
Oh, a Texan.
Coming from a Longhorn.
A Texan.
Not Texan, but a Longhorn.
Oh.
That's right. He's a Longhorn.
Wait.
You're a Texan.
I'm a Texan.
You're a Texan. but I'm a Longhorn.
Oh, very different things, you guys. Very different. Thank you for watching AMHQ Weekend. Have a wonderful morning. You guys have fun. Check out the weekend.
Started my Camry. Remembered the choices I've made. To be bold where others are scared. To show her right from wrong. And realized my little girl had become an amazing human being. Who will make choices of her own. Toyota. Let's go places.
Advanced Design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another members tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Who will you discover at Ancestry.com?
I've always been into biking, but I had kids, a job, other priorities. When I bought a house at Del Webb, I joined this group and started going on long rides a few times a week. I became obsessed with getting faster. I started shaving minutes off my time, and now seconds. Our trainer here has really helped me push through to the next level. What's it really like to own a home in a Del Webb community?
Just ask real homeowners at the community that interests you. Go to delwebb.com to find yours today.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, morning thunderstorms. High 88. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
More than fear, it's just awe and shock.
It's a painful homecoming. People in the town of Fairdale, Illinois, finally allowed back in to salvage whatever Thursday's deadly EF4 tornado did not take, as volunteers and supplies pour in from all corners of the country.
We've got a new severe threat emerging, a new round of trouble bubbling up today. Thunderstorm coverage increasing in density and aerial coverage from Dallas to Minneapolis.
And this is a fluid situation. Flash flooding a major concern as we head into the new week. 5, 6, 7, even 8 inches of rain possible in some areas. Who could get swamped right here, right now on Weekend Recharge. A good Sunday morning to you. Welcome to Weekend Recharge. I'm Paul Goodlow.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Cass in for Maria LaRosa today, and there seems to be no breaking out of the stormy rut that we are in. More severe weather expected today from Iowa down to Texas.
Yeah, and take a look at these pictures here of thunderstorms that were popping up last night. They're impressive pictures here in Lubbock, Texas, from storms last night, looking like a spaceship here covering up over this apartment complex. Pretty cool. Big thank you to Katie Anderson for sending in these awesome, wonderful pictures.
Ooh, pretty one. Look at that. Another great shot of the supercell looking from Lubbock toward Crosbyton, Texas, taken by Linda Webb Shelton.
Yeah, and another one here, great shot looking north from I-20 west of Sweetwater, Texas. Again, thanks to Jerry Bowling. And right now, 6 states are in the bullseye for more severe thunderstorms today as we look at Kansas City live, Wichita, Kansas, as well as New Orleans, all under the gun now for thunderstorms today. Heavy rains, even damaging winds. The biggest impacts in the Big Easy today. KC Wichita, a threat of hail, even an isolated tornado. Kelly is tracking and time it all out for you right now.
And heads up if you're traveling, if you're a Sunday traveler, we do have some heavy rain expected. It's going to be difficult to navigate some of the roadways out there today, especially with the more persistent showers. But you can see from the southwest corner of Louisiana all the way into the French Quarter here in New Orleans on over towards the western panhandle of Florida. We've already got rain coming down right now. And this whole area of rain is really going to expand in coverage as we go into this afternoon and certainly into the next couple of days. We've got a stalled out frontal boundary, plenty of moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. You can probably feel the mugginess out there with those higher dew points now along the Texas coast. So for today, we got the rumbles of thunder, and then tomorrow we're going to have to watch Dallas for the potential for some strong and even severe thunderstorms all the way down toward the hill country, Nashville, Atlanta. We got the thunderstorms on the way for you as well. And as I mentioned, some of this rain is really going to add up, especially where the rain is a little bit more persistent along the Gulf Coast. We've got that bullseye in the orange, 5 to 8 inches of rain. That is a lot of rain between now and Friday up towards Atlanta, Memphis, lesser amounts, but still, it looks like some pretty soaking weather ahead. Here's our forecast for Houston. Again, we're going to have to watch out for storms, not just today, not just tomorrow, but all the way through Thursday. We've got that chance for thunderstorms, temperatures in the Now we head over toward New Orleans where we've got our Quarterfest going on. Hopefully you'll get it in today, 75 degrees, but we do have that chance for thunderstorms every day this week and temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s. So it's going to be that kind of pattern, Paul, that we just can't seem to break out of.
Yeah, got to watch out for that dangerous and deadly lightning too.
Right, exactly.
Well, good friends, neighbors, even complete strangers now are pouring into northern Illinois.
Yeah, they're coming from far and wide to help people affected by that monster EF4 tornado that hit the communities of Rochelle and Fairdale on Thursday night. NBC's Kevin Tibbles has that, plus details on the painful homecoming.
The sun comes up in a corner of Illinois torn apart by what the dark clouds delivered late Thursday.
Oh, he's over! He's over!
An EF4 tornado with sustained winds of up to 200 miles per hour slammed into the neighboring towns of Fairdale and Rochelle, killing 2, tearing homes and lives apart. With a police escort, residents were allowed to return to survey the damage and salvage what they could. Jerry Lawton is grateful his family survived.
Just be thankful for what we got.
At the firehouse in nearby Kirkland, volunteers arrive by the dozens.
Hello, are you here to volunteer?
And donations arrive by the truckload.
So toiletries are all along this line? All right.
For those left without a place to find needed supplies and stock up. It's all about community, says Assistant Fire Chief Mike Stott.
You help out your neighbor. That's what people do. That's what makes it a great country.
Just minutes before the tornado hit, people were enjoying dinner in this restaurant. But when they heard the sirens, they made their way to the basement. It likely saved 12 lives. The 2 top floors were ripped right off, and it was an hour and a half before waitress Melissa Jaime and others would be rescued.
It's more than fear, you know, it's just awe and shock.
Now, the shock of what happened in just a few minutes is setting in. But people here vow their neighbors will not be alone as they start to heal and rebuild. Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Rochelle, Illinois.
Well, let's look at the next threat for severe weather across the Midwest and the plains, and it's taking shape right now. This morning, you're probably hearing the house rumble for some thunderstorms still rolling across areas of eastern Kansas, pushing into western and northwest Missouri. Kansas City, if you're up just after 8 o'clock right now, if you're making breakfast, well, leave the dishwashing until later on. Washing dishes also a way to get impacted by lightning strikes around the area. In this area, about 300 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. So it's not as strong as it would be, say, in a typical afternoon thunderstorm, but they're still putting down a lot of lightning across this area. Still definitely a danger there. Now, as we head later out throughout the day, we're going to watch this cold front come through and see showers and thunderstorms spark up ahead of it. Now, St. Louis, we could see a few scattered showers, but these storms should be diminishing as we head towards the later morning hours. But again, you'll see some clouds, but as these storms die out, they'll leave behind outflow boundaries. We could see some more storms pop up St. Louis and areas east in the afternoon, but as our cold front gets closer, that's where we'll see perhaps more strong and severe thunderstorms. Omaha, Kansas City, again, even into areas of western Iowa, even the Twin Cities could see some thunderstorms. Some of these could be severe as we head on towards your Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. But also stretch back into the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma and also parts of West Texas where we saw some storms yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. We'll see it again as we head on towards your Sunday evening as well. Kansas City, we start losing the showers, say, around 10 o'clock. Clouds stay with us and then fire back up again overnight tonight as storms continue to move in this area as we have that cold front getting closer and closer as we keep our temperatures a little bit cooler in KC, mainly in the 70s because of the lack of sunshine as the clouds stay with us much of the day.
Well, we'll see more of those flowers in May, right, sure, as a result of all these April showers. Well, you know, the nation's capital has endured a brutally cold, snowy winter, but not this weekend. Plenty of sunshine. That's a live look right now.
Yeah, a beautiful shot of the famous blossoms, the Cherry Blossom Festival going on just as they heat their peak. We are talking with the festival's president coming up next.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Toenail fungus? Don't hide it. Tackle it with FDA-approved Jublia. Jublia is a prescription medicine proven to treat toenail fungus. Use Jublia as instructed by your doctor. Once applied, Jublia gets to the site of infection by going under, around, and through the nail. Most common side effects include ingrown toenail, application site redness, itching, swelling, burning or stinging, blisters, and pain. Tackle it. Ask your doctor now if Jublia is right for you.
Oh, man. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You got to do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim. State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
People that would do anything for golf deserve a store that would do anything for golfers. Visit Golfsmith for the largest selection and guaranteed lowest prices. Golfsmith, anything for golf.
From the very start, I wanted FitCore to be different. If you come to me, it's because you want to do what I do, because I don't do what other people do. It's kind of like creating a brand for myself.
Your business is unique. Your marketing should be too. With Vistaprint, it will be. Put your personal touch on 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Just enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
Stay true to yourself. You can do this how you want to do it, and somebody else is going to think that's awesome and want to do it that way too.
Vistaprint.com.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
I'm getting soaked.
You weren't expecting that, were you? No, I wasn't.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, morning thunderstorms. High 88. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. Tonight, mainly cloudy. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You don't know me. You're about to.
Get down! The sins of London have followed us home.
So what's the plan, Dom?
One last ride. Daddy's got to go to work. Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX.
In Tennessee, there was ice coating us, and we were trapped for 5 days in our house, and we were talking about, we need a vacation. We need to get out of here. We need to go somewhere pretty. And as we were talking about things that we'd always wanted to do, we found out that the cherry blossoms on the tidal basin was both a childhood dream of mine and my husband's.
Well, these escapees from winter, timing their spring vacation just right.
Oh, absolutely. They made it to Washington, D.C. just as the cherry trees around the tidal basin are peaking. They are hitting their magnificent peak right about now. We've got some beautiful weather for it.
Certainly. In fact, the National Cherry Blossom Festival has been going on actually since March 20th, and bloom watchers have endured some pretty cold and even wet and snowy days.
Yeah, but not today, though. A glorious sunny Sunday. High temperatures up around 70 degrees. That is perfect. Diana Mayhew is the festival's president, and she joins us now on the phone. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning.
So today is it, the final day of the festival. What kinds of activities are going on there today?
Well, today we have a Anacostia River Festival where the focus is on the river, and there'll be boat demonstrations. There'll be a lot of fun down there, but also at the tidal basin there are performances from noon to 6 p.m., paddle boat rides, some good food and drink, and just a lot of fun around the tidal basin. But I did want to say that just because today's the last day of the official festival events, the blossoms will still be around, so that continues the festival.
Well, speaking of the blossoms, I know you had the Cherry Blossom Festival Parade yesterday. Tell us about that.
Oh, it's fantastic. Beautiful day, record-breaking crowds because of the weather and because of the blossoms blooming at the same time. Fabulous performances, balloons down Constitution Avenue. It was just an amazing day.
And you just mentioned that the cherry blossoms are still there and they're not going anywhere. Maybe a little wind and rain will eventually take them down eventually. But how did the unusual wet and kind of cool weather impact the numbers there?
Well, it was actually pretty interesting because although the blossoms didn't come towards the end, the event still happened. So it spreads the crowds out pretty much along the way. It was cold on Friday, but I'll tell you, those smart people that were down there, they saw those blossoms, beautiful blooms. Again, even though it was a little colder, there weren't as many people down there. So the crowds have been continuing. We had record crowds yesterday. We'll have it today. Again, it will continue into next week.
And real quickly, last question. I know the end of the festival is today, but how long do you think the blooms will still last on the trees?
Well, I cannot predict because you never know what happens with the weather. If the weather is fine and we don't have any major storm blowing them off, they could be in at least until midweek this week. I've been around when they've bloomed for 17 days because maybe if it gets cooler, they'll stay on longer.
All right, Diana, great point there. We hope everybody sticks around as those blossoms are looking gorgeous. The weather looking great too. Diana Mayhew, the president of the Washington's National Cherry Blossom Festival. Thanks for joining us.
Let's take a look at the forecast here. Again, looking fantastic. Plenty of sunshine there with nothing but temperatures slowly warming up towards about 70 degrees today. And again, clear skies overnight, so even the evening should be fantastic. Let's take a look at some tower cams right now. So you got to enjoy it while it lasts here in the Northeast because, yeah, we all know this is coming. Change. Rain is on the way in here as we look at Boston, Pittsburgh, even New York City. Boston, you got the home openers of the Red Sox tomorrow at Fenway. I'll be there tomorrow morning. We got rain, though, coming in tomorrow night. Same thing as we head on towards the Steel City. We'll see some rain coming in the afternoon hours for you. And yes, things will be cooling down as well. Let's talk about the forecast here across the Northeast as you look at some of the beautiful cherry blossoms. And through Monday, high pressure is still giving us those warming south and southwesterly winds. Always a warm wind no matter what time of the year. Enjoy it while it lasts. Temperatures running 10, 15, 20, 25 degrees above average. But here comes our rain ahead of our next cold front coming on through. So the rain comes in as we head throughout the day on Monday, stays with us into Tuesday, and then finally start clearing out as we head past the middle of the week. So temperatures today should be in the upper 50s. We're talking about mid to upper 60s, even some 70s around D.C. A beautiful day around the district. Tomorrow, though, warmer still in D.C., but rain is on the way. 78 in Pittsburgh before the rain gets there. Even Boston, upper 60s for you tomorrow. You got to enjoy that, again, before the rain comes on in. So, again, the forecast has the rain coming in late Monday and sticking around into Tuesday. So your Tuesday morning commute, probably a lot more problems than your Monday evening commute. So keep that on the top of mind as you look at your forecast planning for your day here. So again, D.C., a gorgeous day today, even warmer tomorrow. Clouds come in Monday night, so you got some rain for you as we head towards Tuesday. We all know a little bit of rain, a little snow can definitely impact your commute plans. Even here in Philadelphia, another sunny, gorgeous day today, above average. And again, clouds come in late tomorrow. morning rain showers for you as we head on towards your Tuesday morning commutes. And again, things start drying out as we head on towards the middle of the week.
Well, 'tis the season, right? Next on Weekend Recharge, a new cold front charging into the plains and the Midwest.
Yeah, it's bringing a new threat of severe weather with gusty winds, hail, and still can't rule out a possible tornado. We have the timing of the severe weather and when it could impact you. That's coming up right after your local on the 8s.
Shopping online is as easy as it gets. Wouldn't it be great if hiring plumbers, carpenters, and even piano tuners were just as simple? Thanks to Angie's List, now it is. We've made hiring anyone from a handyman to a dog walker as simple as a few clicks. Buy their services directly at angieslist.com. No more calling around, no more hassles. And you don't even have to be a member to start shopping today.
Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. Visit angieslist.com today.
Joseph A. Bank presents the Big Spring Sale. All suits and sport coats are on sale, featuring executive and Joseph suits just $2 for $2.99. Sale ends Sunday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle-Gro Liquid Feed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
Need an oil change? Let the boys do it for you with our full-service oil change and a multi-point inspection for only $19.99 with coupon. And make your service appointment easily online at petboys.com. Trust the boys to get you there.
Book a tee time 24/7 with Golf Now. Day or night. Even after the course closes. Search the largest selection of available tee times at over 6,000 great courses. Book your round in no time with Golf